Chris, what is going on over here? Why do we have all this pipe and drape? We're not a mobile church anymore. And for the King, do we have a new slogan that I'm not aware of?
Yeah, Compass Bible Church South Valley.
Oh, we got to give everybody a year-end Build My Church update.
That's right.
Well, it has been a great year with the Build My Church initiative, and not even really a full year. Commitment Sunday was June 1st, so we're not even a year into this yet. But just as 2025 wraps up, Chris, where are we in the Build My Church initiative?
Yeah, so we currently have raised $1.7 million
Praise the Lord.
in the Build My Church Initiative Fund in less than 6 months.
Yes.
And that's what we've received, and the commitments are now up to $8.7 million. And we still get commitments even coming in these last couple of weeks. We've had a couple.
And just for reference, over 3 years of the Taking Ground initiative, we raised about $2 million. So we've almost raised as much for this as we did for Taking Ground, which is just incredible. And what does that mean? You might say those sound like big numbers. Cool. What does that mean? First and foremost, it means that the South Valley church plant is fully funded. And that's why we started with what we did there. And if you've been around our offices over the last month, tons of boxes, tons of equipment, all being set up for this church plant, right? Assembling sound systems, pipe and drape, all these things. This church plant has been able to go out and get everything they've needed because of your generosity. So that is just a huge thing we're giving thanks for. We want you to give thanks for that as the year ends. And then tell us a little bit, just as we think through the commitments, $8.7 million committed to be given over the next 3 years. That's incredible. What does that mean for the long term of this project?
Yeah, so that gives us a great idea of what we can build, what is coming, and what do we have the ability to figure out in the building, because we're a growing church. Mm-hmm. And as our church continues to grow, the needs may grow. Yeah. The different arrangements of rooms and classrooms and just the way that we do ministry will look different at that building. Yeah. And so the number gives us an idea of where we're going.
And it is a massive first step
right.
towards that goal of a new facility in an ideal location to reach the Treasure Valley for years to come. Now, as we get into the month of December, mm-hmm. Just the way it works in America with churches and nonprofits, it will be the biggest giving month of the year. It has been every year. That's right. Kind of the way it works. And so one question you get sometimes as people consider making a year-end gift, when we're doing something like this initiative, they may come to you and ask, well, what should I do? Should I give to the Build My Church initiative, or should I give to the general fund? How would you answer that question this year, Chris?
Yeah, so if you made a commitment to the Build My Church initiative, then fulfill that commitment. But if we're talking dollars that weren't committed to that mm-hmm. fund, or you're just trying to figure out how to be extra generous here at the end of this year, reflecting on how God was generous to you, then I would say give to the general fund, because we have ongoing operating needs. We're a growing church. Mm-hmm. We have growing needs. And so I think, the operating fund would really be a blessing for us as we look into 2026 even.
Because even if you think about Build My Church, we're talking about planting a church, building a new facility. Really, both of those objectives, we're hoping to just see an expansion of what God is already doing at our church.
Right.
And so we want to continue to support what God is doing at our church. And that just even as we think through that, one word that continues to describe our church is growing. We continue to grow, and so we want to continue to invest in our present congregation.
Yeah, absolutely. And even as we're wrapping up our budget and projections for next year, I mean, our main buckets are staffing, programming, and facilities. Yeah. And so talk about the growth in those.
So let's start with staff and programming, because those are pretty intertwined.
Right.
But those continue to grow. Even this last year, we brought more people on staff so they could either be sent out with the church plant or replace the people that were with the church plant. And so as we send out the church plant, well, then we're going to need to bring on more people. And that's a blessing to our church. I think our congregation even realizes we have a sweet, hardworking team here at the church, and that's been a strength of our church, and we want to continue to grow that team. And as we get people on the team, that helps us to do more programming to serve our growing church. Pastor Stephen coming on and focusing on things like missions and Compass Classroom. We've been able to do more in those areas, and that that's freed up Pastor Charlie to focus more on counseling. And those are things that we're doing more of. Our student ministry and kids ministry continue to grow. And so even our student ministry launched a discipleship curriculum called Abide this year that was enabled through people's giving. And so we want to continue to do things like that. Every year, our biggest events, men's retreat, women's retreat, Camp Compass, Ignite, they're always setting records. And so those continue to grow, and people giving to the church helps to subsidize all of those things. So we need to keep growing to serve our congregation, to reach, teach, and train more people through our church.
Right.
And then on the facilities front, that's something we don't have to worry about because we're not a mobile church anymore. We have our own building, so we don't have to worry about facilities, right, Chris?
It's not quite that way. I mean, we've got repairs, we've got things that need to be fixed. You know, the building was a church that we didn't do church the way they did, so we're revamping things and reworking some stuff. And so there's expenses and costs associated with maintaining and repairing and fixing up the place that we do worship to really make the programming work.
We want to be good stewards of the space and utilize it for the sake of ministry. So just as we wrap up 2025, we want to encourage you to give thanks for all that God has done and how he's provided, especially for this church plant that'll be launching early next year. And we also, if you're wondering what to do at the end of the year with giving, we'd encourage you towards the general fund so God can keep using our church and keep building his church right here at Compass Bible Church, Treasure Valley. So thank you to you and to God for a great 2025. We'll be back with more updates in 2026.